So, the first debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris is finally upon us, and there is a lot of anticipation for this because this is basically the first interaction between our new matchup for the 2024 election following Biden's withdrawal from the race after that really poor debate performance. And there's a lot of expectations right now for this debate, and for good reason, because this is really going to be um, a gigantic indicator for how the election is going to go, probably. I mean, this is probably the last event that's going to be like, this is definitely going to be the most viewed event of the election cycle. The first debate usually is. So there is a lot riding on this. The stakes are incredibly high, and I have a couple ideas as to where I think this debate is gonna go. But before we kind of go into that, it's worth taking a look at the format of the debate because the format of the debate is kind of giving us an idea as to what it'll look like. So the debate is going to be similar to the first one this year, in which the rules are that the mics are going to be muted, essentially meaning that both candidates are only going to be able to speak when it is their turn to speak. So crosstalk is not going to be allowed. Um, there's also not going to be a live audience at the debate. The biggest change is that it's going to be on ABC instead of CNN. Now, here is where both candidates stand on this debate and how they're feeling going into it. So, I want to first talk about how Donald Trump has sort of been looking to this debate. He hasn't really been as active on the campaign trail, so I do believe he's been prepping for this debate, but also him not being as active on the campaign trail has been kind of a thing that's been consistent this entire cycle. So I don't know how much of that factors into preparation, but I imagine he is preparing. So the question is, how is Donald Trump looking into it? Well, let's be honest. I think that Trump realizes Kamala Harris, for a multitude of reasons, is going to be a much harder opponent to win in a debate against than Joe Biden was. Because, again, unlike Joe Biden, Kamala Harris is probably not going to have trouble getting sentences out. That's not to say she won't have awkward moments or moments that could be like meme worthy, but she's not going to have the issues Biden was having cognitively. So Trump is going to have to really put in a bit of effort into this one. Whereas in the last one, I think it was mostly a flat performance that wasn't bad. It was an alright performance, but really it was Biden's blunder that made him the winner. So he's going to have to give a good performance, and I think he's a little worried he can't do that. And this is not based on bias. This is not me giving an opinion. I think he's worried he cannot do that super well. And that's why he's been kind of indicating that, calling ABC biased. He was a little bit slow to fully agree to the debate. Um, but nonetheless, he agreed to it, and I think that it'll be interesting to see if he's able to put up a good fight against Harris. That we'll find out once the debate happens. And just because Donald Trump is having issues here does not necessarily mean that I think Kamala Harris is headed for a slam dunk debate performance. And the reason I say that is because the muted mics rule is something that Kamala Harris's team did not want. Um, and I think there's a good amount of reasons as to why she didn't want the mics to be muted for this one. If Donald Trump is given an unmuted mic and has the ability to interject, he's probably going to, as the 2020 debate showed us. And that would be very good for Harris. And it also means that she's not able to directly be aggressive on him on certain subjects where he'd be weak on, such as anything relating to abortion or any personal scandals he has or Project 2025, stuff like that. She's not going to be able to have the type of combat with him where, regardless of your opinion, she would probably have by default a better moment because she can't be as combative. And her team is not happy about that. And I really think there's something to note about that, considering, you know, I think she wouldn't be fighting. I mean, she literally was fighting hard for this role, or her team, or her, whoever it was on her camp, was fighting hard for this role. And they kind of gave up like a week or so ago. But the fact that they fought so hard this late in the game, it gives me a bit of a like, I kind of wonder if there is a lack of confidence that Kamala Harris can crush the debate. I don't think that there's a lot of concern that she'll have a Biden in the last debate type fumble, but I do think there might be a bit of a concern that Harris is perhaps gonna struggle if she doesn't have Donald Trump helping her out by, you know, sh- basically hurting his own odds. So that's something that's worth taking note of. And that's something I think will be interesting to see. And I think the reason why Harris struggles with this is because Kamala Harris um, has one big issue that she's had pretty much the entire time that she's been in the presidential like spotlight, 2020 campaign and this campaign. She doesn't really believe in anything. And when it comes down to specifically talking about policy, yeah, she struggles. Whereas her moments where she shines are where A, she's got a teleprompter, and B, she can attack Donald Trump. And that is sort of where she's gotten her biggest blows. But without muted mics, it makes it harder for her to combat Trump, and Trump cannot hurt his own chances by interjecting a bunch of times. So it puts her in a position where I think she can do good in the debate, but perhaps she's not able to do amazingly, which could be frustrating considering the race is very, very close and Harris might be looking to this debate as a moment to pull away in the polls. That's not to say she can't do that, but clearly the way this debate is being formatted is not one her team really wanted their strategy to focus on. So, with that being said, cutting to the chase, how do I think the debate's going to go, who's going to win, and what's going to be the result of it. So, in my opinion, I feel, and this could be wrong, but I feel like Kamala Harris is going to win the debate, but she's not going to crush him. And when I say this is I think Trump is not going to do bad. I think he's going to have a performance on par with his June debate performance, maybe a little better, maybe a little worse. I think a little better because he's gonna actually have to really try to combat her as much as he can with a muted mic. Again, if he focuses on substance and stays on point, he'll have a performance that'll be considered strong in its own right. But I think that Kamala Harris is going to probably deliver substance better, and I think she's going to be presentable enough against Trump. And I think that if she plays her cards right with the way things are, and if Trump plays his cards right with the way things are, I think that what's going to be the end result of this debate is that Harris is going to look better, but she's not going to have like a curb stomping victory. It's going to be more of a debate where generally speaking people are more likely to think Harris won, but it doesn't really move the needle too much. I think that basically following this debate, the poll numbers are going to be about where they are now. And what that means is I think the debate on September 25th on NBC is going to be one where the Harris campaign is going to desperately fight to have those mics unmuted if she can't stomp him easily. So basically, what I'm saying is the race probably isn't going to change that much after the debate happens. And we are still looking at a competitive race between these two candidates. So, yeah, that's my take on the debate. We'll see how it goes.